I want to welcome you guys back because here's the conversation continued. After we were debriefing our National Distance Learning Week
This is kind of like a bonus. These are like kind of like bonus features. Delete, back in the day when we used to watch DVDs, and some of us are still old school and do that. I always like to go to the bonus features of like, oh, what were the deleted scenes? This would be like a deleted scene that kind of could have happened in the presentation, but I did have a little bit of self-control. Yes, folks, I do have a little bit of self-control to not interrupt Roxanne and her flow of the presentation. But, she was talking about the intention of how we came upon using Microsoft Teams and, the inventory of resources and the circumstances. One of the circumstances she did not include was she has a team member who goes by the name of Ken that sometimes doesn't like to go along with everybody else, because I kind of already had a way that I communicated properly with people, and of course in my perspective, how I collaborated with people. So I had kind of had a system going on. And so her and Scott, who we talked a little bit about with the asphalt story, they were kind of hatching this Teams thing together. And every once in a while, one or the both of them would talk to me about it. And I just kept thinking, I ain't doing that. Whatever. They're going to have to drag me kicking and screaming into doing that. Well, right around that same time, I had another computer that was totally crapping out on me, like completely. Like it had been crapping out for like a year. And it totally started crapping out. And I was going to have to basically, the process that I kind of used was very around like the files on that computer. And, I'd been moving them around from computers for like the last 3 computers. And I was losing all of that. And so I was going to kind of have to start all over again anyways. And so it was kind of that perfect storm of like, I was like, well, if I have to start over, let me just see what this is. Let me just give it a try. All right, let me just see. Let me just do what they're asking me to do. And it was like, oh, yeah, this is so much better because, like Roxanne laid out, one of the attention was like email was crazy. Like for us, a lot of it was internal email that was just getting disjointed and everything. And so to move all of that into that collaborative space in Teams, it was like, oh, okay, I get it. So basically, we were talking about like tipping points too, Roxanne and I, in our debrief, and it was like I'd kind of gotten to that tipping point where the pain of the change was less than the advantages that I was going to get in kind of going through that uncomfortable spot of like, I don't really know how to use this Teams thing, but I was like, it's worth me figuring it out because the advantages I was going to get once I got comfortable in it, outweighed the pain of not really doing something I'm used to doing. So that's our little deleted scene bonus footage.
Okay, so what's your favorite part of Teams now? Because I know what mine is. Mine was context, because when we'd have the conversations through email and I'd be like, what file is this related to, or what had happened before? And then I'm having to like read through the email, and your footer on your email's like about this big. And then I'm like trying to find. And so that for me was, I felt like I was spending a lot of brain power just to get to the task. And so for me to be able to see it quickly has been huge. That and the animated funnies that we share in there. Those are nice.
The gifts are a pretty nice bonus. Yeah, I mean, I think mine's similar. It's just keeping that conversation together because I would have the way I managed it before is like, I would file, I had a whole folder structure in my email and I would save that email in a certain folder. And if I replied back to it, I'd try to keep it all together. But invariably, people would not reply to the latest one and it would get all out of context, where I do like how Teams kind of keeps that thread together where, we have some threads now that are like, probably close to 100, maybe some of them that are even over 100 because we've been working on them for months. So it's kind of like you can see it from the initial concept all the way through the action of carrying on, kind of like, the blended process we talked about. It's like you can kind of see how it started. We're looking at the resources, the circumstances, and then we're acting out on it and adapting over time. And I like how it keeps that all together. So you're like, for me, it's the same thing. It's like, even though I had a process and I could find things quicker, I still had to take a lot of time in like thinking about how I was going to organize it. And then emails were out of context, I would have to go back and look. Yeah, I spent a lot of time like doing that. Where now, and if I can't remember where it is in Teams too, I can just search it, right? I can just type in like National Distance Learning Week and be like, oh, there it is. There's the thing we talked about on that.
Awesome. Well, and thank you for not interrupting my flow, because then we would have gone down this rabbit hole and we would have totally hijacked it and been out of time. So, all right. So thank you for this.